Hello, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Going to be having the first bottle of hefeweizen from a couple of batches ago. So I'm quite looking forward to this. It's the first kind of new homebrew I've got on the go for quite a while. So, crack this open. Hopefully I've not made an arse of the carbonation. Possibly undercarb. No, that's fine. They always pour crystal clear for me to start with. Better than any of my well, what should be clear beers. Swirl. Pulled that a bit short. So, looks like a hefeweizen. Yeah, smells like it too. So, if I remember right, there's nothing particularly startling in this recipe. I think this was just barca pills, wheat malt, cara wheat, maybe a little bit of melanoidin. Efficiency was absolutely crap. It's supposed to be 6%. I think I'm at 4.5, so way off. Hopefully it's okay. I was hoping to get more banana. I'm getting the sort of clovey spiciness, but not much banana. Cheers. Very nice. I didn't get the banana that I was hoping for. I don't want a big banana bomb. But I think usually when I make hefeweizen, because hefeweizen is my favourite style, so I do make them quite a lot. But they always tend to be more on the sort of spicy, phenolic side. And I was wanting just a bit more of that, a bit like Weinstöffen, the sort of banana bread flavour. I think this is the first hefeweizen I've made since I started doing water additions. It's the first one I've made since even just adding Camden to my brewing water. And it doesn't have the homebrew twang that I've had in the past. Yeah, if I'd got served this in a pub, I'd be delighted. Yeah. Could do with a bit more carbonation. I bulk primed and I used Brewer's Friend priming calculator. And I was going for I usually aim for about 3.75 volumes. I use old wheat beer bottles, so they can take the higher carbonation. It's not as if it was going to be sometimes it can be a bit more complicated if you've maybe done a cold crash or a lagering period where you put in the when you put in the temperature in the calculator. But this wheat beer, don't bother cold crashing anything like that. I think it was fermented about. Done this one a bit hotter because I wanted more banana, so I think I'd done about 18 and a half, 19 Massively under pinch of yeast as well. But yeah, so straightforward. So yeah, you don't get, there are bubbles, a reasonable amount, but it's not streaming up the glass. I had 3 weeks in the bottle before I put it in the fridge. It's been in the fridge for a day. No, I'm pleased with that. It's got a wee bit of a tiny bit of astringency at the very back. Yeah. Difficult to place what it is. It just gets the one small hop drop at 60 minutes. And even though my efficiency was terrible, the hopping rate wouldn't have threw it out that much. It would have still been within the sort of guidelines, if you care about the guidelines. But yeah, what else? Kölsch has now been in the bottle for a couple of weeks. I was thinking I might do a review of that next week, but I think I'm going to give that a long bottle conditioning period, because a very, very long sorry, it's not a very long lagering period, it's a long lagering period for me, who's only used to maybe doing like a 3-day cold crash. It was lagered for 5 weeks, so I'll give the yeast a little bit longer in the bottle to do its thing. Again, that was bulk primed. I think I've done that about 3 volumes. That one was more difficult for me. Can't even remember what I put in the calculator. I sort of fudged it and then knocked a few grams off the sugar just in case. Used the new system and made a Ringwood 4X Porter clone from the Graham Wheeler book. And it was okay. Efficiency down a little bit. I think it should be a 4.7% beer, and I'll end up with about 4.2, 4.3. Say that I usually get pretty good attenuation with the yeast, so it might be a little bit higher ABV. But yeah, a couple of things I need to dial in with it. I did film it, and I'll put that up at some point. Just not been that fussed about putting together the footage yet. Didn't do that great a job of filming, just like I don't do a great job of brewing it. But yeah, so by using the cooler mash tun with the false bottom and the pump, I was able to do a proper underlet, and it went like a dream. Done it really slow, so as long as I just made sure I could see that the sight glass on the HLT was showing that the water level was decreasing, I just ran it as slow as I possibly could. And then once I got to where I think I was expecting to mash in with about 16 litres, gave it a stir. Absolutely no dough balls, nothing at all, but quite thin. I also have the issue where the temperature probes, I don't know if it's the temperature probe isn't giving an accurate reading, because it needs to be calibrated, like the PID needs to be calibrated, or the temperature probes are in a thermal well that's actually too big. So I don't know if that's going to make an issue. Does the temperature probe have to be kind of right into the thermal well, like touching there or near enough at the end? So I might swap out. I'll get another couple of thermal wells. It's not that big a deal. So I might swap those out. So because of that, mashed in too high. Added a litre of tap water, and that brought it down to where I was wanting 64, 65. Ran it through, got it up to about 66, and just kept an eye on it. 90-minute mash, kept the temperature fine. Need to work out what to do with mashing out. If anybody else that uses a Herms, do you just bump up the heat and for the Herms coil, and does that bring it up to mash out temperature, or is it just something I shouldn't bother trying to do? Because I kind of gave up after a little bit. Yeah, recirculation, everything like that. Sparge, fine, absolutely great. No issues whatsoever. The wort seemed really clear. Then just my usual. Done the boil and the grain filler. Well, I wasn't expecting to have anything scorch or burn or stick or whatever to the bottom of the grain filler, but I did. Being honest, the wort looked crystal clear when it left the mash tun, but still at the end, at the bottom of the grain filler, was a sort of white layer. It wasn't burnt, it was just stuck. And God, what a pain shifting that was. Soaked up, done the grain filler high performance cleaner stuff, then tried to scrub it again. No. Barkeeper's friend. If anybody's ever stuck for anything to use, like Barkeeper's friend, it just shifts everything. It's great. Test it out in a small area, make sure it doesn't like knacker your equipment there. But it takes all the scorch stuff off the bottom of the grain filler. The wheat beer that went in the bin, down the drain, and everything else went in the bin. That even the Barkeeper's friend struggled to shift the crud that had burnt onto the grain filler there. So for recirculating, I was kind of worried about creating a channel if I just had the hose going straight in. So I'd look at those lock line things, the little nozzles. I'd read too many mixed reviews, and then seen like the SS Brewtech do a sparge manifold. Thought that looks ideal. Out of stock everywhere in Britain. I thought maybe I could make something, and then I thought, no, because I think anything that I would be able to make with my limited technical abilities would probably be too heavy. It would sink right into the grain. You know, it would be all stainless steel and compression fittings, and just no. So I improvised a top plate with this. So another AliExpress special, a stainless steel colander. I didn't think the holes were going to be that big. They are. However, they are. I need to think about something for that. I might put either like maybe the fine mesh screen I got for the grain filler. I even put that on top. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's where the hose is like recirculating the wort. I just need something there to make sure it's spreading out the liquid evenly. It's not just firing straight into the grain bed, because I'll get channeling and it'll make my already shitty efficiency even shittier. Yeah. I had planned to add sugar at the end of the boil to the porter, because I'd anticipated that I would be low, because I'm always low at the moment. I just never get it right. I think there's something with my it's probably my temperature control everywhere. The grain filler's off, the HLT's off. I just need to spend time and calibrate things. Yeah, so I intended to add like 150 grams or so sugar, and I completely forgot. I also completely forgot to add yeast nutrient, which I normally do. Um, but it's not a high ABV beer. The yeast was in date. It was one of those smack packs for why yeast, so that's got nutrients in it. And I gave it 2 minutes full power with the electric drill and a stainless steel paint stirrer for aerating, and I think it'll be fine. So it's going to give it probably 3 weeks altogether, including a cold crash. So it's currently sitting at it's nearly at 20. I've got it set to 19.5. So hopefully the fridge will kick in soon. Yeah. Well, I got just over 2 weeks. Cold crash for 3 or 4 days, and then bottle. And again, this one I'll give maybe 4 weeks in the bottle. It's no great rush. It's probably a beer that could do with a longer conditioning period. Well, but if it does attenuate right down, not right down, but further than I was hoping, I'm hoping because it's got quite a bit of crystal in it and chocolate malt, that'll still make it feel like it's got more body to it. Could be wrong, could be talking at my arse, probably am. But hopefully, I can hopefully do that. Yeah, as brew days went, fine. Liking the new system. Cleaning, spent a bit longer cleaning than I probably normally would. That'll get better as time goes on, and I'll improve my system. I had one leak, and by leak it was maybe 2 drips during a 90-minute mash from the top Herms coil port. So that's fine. Yeah, I didn't electrocute myself, so nothing blew. Didn't scald myself. I did almost take the tip of my finger off though. I'll show you what. I don't have much space in the fridge, so the top of the bucket, I got new buckets that are wider and shorter, so that has helped a little bit. But I don't have space for an airlock, so I have a blow off. But I'm always paranoid about when it's chilling, sucking the star sand out of the pint glass. Also, I don't like just having an open pint glass in there. So what I've done is I've got a jam jar, sanitised it, and I drilled 2 holes in the lid of the jam jar, put 2 grommets in, so the blow off tube goes from the fermenter into the jam jar, into one of the grommets, and out of the other grommet is the Plato, the one-way valve thing. Or is it a 2-way valve? Whatever. It's not the Plato airlock. It's just the little thing for cold crashing, the little valve. So when it gets to like negative pressure, it'll still allow air in, and it won't suck the star sand out of the airlock above it. I am fully aware that that's not oxygen free. I don't do oxygen free brewing yet. I don't have the setup. I suppose ideally it should be like a mylar balloon that goes in there that's filled with carbon dioxide. But no, that wouldn't even fit in there. But I'm not too concerned. I don't do many beers that I, one, keep for years on end, or two, are the kind of beers that would oxidise really quickly, you know, like your New England IPAs, big hoppy West Coast things. When I do make a kind of big hoppy beer, they get drunk very quick before they get a chance to oxidise. But yeah, so what I what I did learn was, if you're going to use a flat drill bit on a very small jam jar lid, and you don't have a vice, don't hold it. As much as you think my fingers are miles away, as soon as the flat drill bit got through the lid, it sort of tore the metal, spun the lid out of my hand, and put it across the tip of my finger. Which is, it's healed very nicely because it was in a very clean cut. But it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Nah, I'll show you the latest innovation. Yeah, that's it. Blow off tube into the jar, air locking valve, and I think it makes a reasonable seal. Can you see that? Yeah. This bit here where the blow off tube goes into this grommet, I think because it's an angle it's not perfect seal, so I've got a little elbow fitting hose barb coming, another AliExpress special, that I think will create a better seal. Yeah, seems to be doing its thing. Need to watch out though, it looks like, because the heater goes on now and again, it's probably drying out the airlock a little. I'll maybe top that up tomorrow. Yeah, looks and smells like it's doing fine. I've kind of reduced the amount I'm making at the moment. The warmer weather, harder to keep things within the acceptable temperature range, so whenever the fridge becomes available, I brew. So next beer will be Timmy Taylor Clone or the William Younger XP. Yeah, maybe the XP. Because that's like the big hoppy beer. That's one that I don't leave lying about too long. But I had absolutely no issues the last time with oxidation whatsoever. I think I had it maybe 8 or 10 weeks after I'd bottled it. It was still excellent. It was I highly recommend that to anyone. Especially, see if you like big hoppy beers, try it. It's not got Citra or Mosaic or Talus or anything, or Brew, any of these things. It's just East Kent Goldens, but a ton of them. And it's super fruity and hoppy and fresh, and it's a great summer beer. That's good. Right, for the next time I make wheat beer, I'm going to scrap using melanoidin in it. I actually think I like the taste of melanoidin. One of the best wheat beers I've ever made has just been wheat, pills, bit of cara wheat. I like cara wheat because a bit of colour, and I think that's just going to be the recipe I'll stick to going forward. I might be talking, probably I didn't actually check to see what was in this recipe, but I think this one had a touch of melanoidin. Tell you what, mate, when I was bottling the kölsch, I squeezed about another 200ml out of the bottling bucket into a tiny little swing cap, and I might open that even just to see how the carbonation's going. It's not refrigerated, it's in here somewhere. But I'll be curious just to see how it's turning out. But if it is terrible, I won't be disheartened because I'd be shocked if this isn't oxidised to hell. It was literally, I had to take the tap off that was pouring in the dregs from the bottling bucket into this bottle. So, also I think it's got about 30% of the bottle is headspace. So I will be back in what will seem like a second. Alright. This is just for additional filler because me waffling on for 25 minutes isn't enough. So this has been in the shed for 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks possibly. It's the kölsch. I'll rinse my glass. This is going to sound daft, but I'm actually nervous about opening this. It was one of these little bottles that nearly took my face off. My first homebrew, I had bulk primed and failed to stir the sugar solution properly all the way through. Because I use these little bottles to catch the arse end of the bottling bucket, it was cram-packed full of priming sugar. And I flicked the lid with one hand to make myself feel cool, and it took pretty much this whole section clean off the bottle. So I might just step off camera very, very slightly just to pour this. Definitely carbonated. Right. Just going to pour to there because, as I said, this bottle is filled with all manner of crap from the bucket. Hey, that's looking almost looks like beer. Bit of lemony twang. No, like super citrusy, just very, very slight lemon. That is nice. Consider that as a bottle that is just the crud of the bottling bucket. It's shook all about and oxidised to hell. That is promising. I think that'll be a nice beer once it's had another few weeks conditioning and then chilled. Also, the shed, I've been keeping track of the temperature. It does fluctuate quite a bit, so it's not been at a constant, say, 17 or 18 degrees. I think it's been, in the hot days it gets up to about 28, and then at the nights it falls to about 14. Not bad at all. It's very, very smooth, very, very clean. It just always sounds. I'd make the shittest beer festival judge, but it's got that beer, just a beery taste to it. Not a shit lagery taste, it just tastes ever so much like beer. Tiny bit of lacing. Yeah. I think in this there was Pils, Vienna, Melanoiden, possibly a little bit of wheat. Yeah. I'll go through the recipe proper, like I did for the hefeweizen today, when I do the proper taste of this. Yeah, that's going to be an excellent summer beer. No, I'm really pleased with that. It's nice every now and again when you've been having a run of maybe not bad beers, but bad brew days and things not turning out how you were hoping they would turn out. It's nice to get a little win. just when you taste it, you're like, yeah, that was worth the effort. Yeah. Head retention though is excellent. Better than the heifer. Because the wheat beer glasses, they don't go in the dishwasher. I know sometimes like the rinse aid and things can affect the head retention. They get done fairy liquid like everything else. I did give it a really good rinse and a bit of a wipe down with paper towel. Maybe the first pint had still some soap residue, but yeah. Definitely cut. This was only supposed to be 3 volumes compared to the other one, but nearly 4. Fantastic. No, I mean, I was really concerned. I was concerned about this beer. I've never had a beer, but I've never done a lager. This isn't. It's a kölsch, an alt beer. But I put it through a period of lagering, which I've never done before. Yeah. Only issue with when you're doing lagering is it takes up your fermentation fridge, if that's what you're using. If you've got a nice shiny glycol chiller with 4 Greenfather fermenters off it, or I think the SS Brewtech one does like half a building full of fermenters, then you don't have that issue. But if you're just like me, if you've only got a fridge, it kind of ties it up. Oh, very pleased with that. But I think I will sign off now, and you don't have to listen to me. Yeah, I'm just wasting time. So, cheers. I will get the Ringwood Clone Brew Day footage up at some point. It's just going to be a few bits cobbled together as normal. It's yeah, it's not like I do much editing. And always have a good one. Cheers.